Hey yo everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Battlefront 2 slash Darth Maul or Maul the Shadow Lord recap. What a lot to unfold, what a lot to unbag. So much so that I actually have notes written down so I don't get off track and kind of keep me centered and everything. So first off, I want to apologize for the nonsense gameplay that you got in the background. Right now, as you can see, I'm playing, I think it's just like solo, I don't know, something solo. And then my heroes versus villains, not the best. But anyways, off track, get back to it. So, chapter 5, it's called Inquisition. I wrote down the little caption or summary of the episode. It was saying, oh, also, real quick, timeout. Just want to say, spoiler alert. I don't know how much I'm going to get into. I mean, I wrote some spoiler-esque kind of stuff. But anyways, you've been warned. Spoiler warning. Anyways, Chapter 5, Inquisition. Captain Lawson faces a sobering reality. So, that's what it is. So I wrote down a couple of little things. First off, we start off seeing this weird Imperial transport that looks pretty freaking cool if you ask me. So I was like, alright, I see what the Empire's been doing. I do. On top of that, the Stormtroopers' helmets looking kind of snazzy if I do say so myself. And then we meet this Imperial officer, Lieutenant Blake, that obviously, as we've seen before, I forgot the damn Lawson's droid, but he notified the Empire. So as we've seen in the last episode, you see the Star Destroyer flying over the planet. So now, since that has transpired, we have this Lieutenant Blake looking for Maul and seeing what the heck has been going on this planet. So that's like going on. And then also later in the episode, since the Imperials or the Empire have made themselves known, and that's on the planet looking for Maul and seeing what's going on with Larson and Devin and all that jazz. Maul's like right hand girl, man, whatever. I didn't write names down. I'm bad with names, so I do apologize. So Maul's like right hand man is just like, we should definitely leave the planet. There's too many Imperial officers, stormtroopers, we should just cut our losses and just hightail it out of here and go to a different system. And Maul's just like, no. Almost like freaking Anakin, as in Anakin was the chosen one. Maul thinks Devin is the key to his plan, whatever he's trying to do. We don't know yet. But Maul is kind of refusing to leave the planet until, he confronts Devin and tries to converse her to take his, not leadership, but, become his apprentice and learn the ways of the dark side. But anyways, going back to not knowing people's names and not remembering names, we see that Larson's, boss lady person, I guess, was snagged up and was tortured and questioned about what happened with the ambush with Maul and everything. Just like, how did Maul and his accomplices just take out like a whole squadron of, officers and everything. So we don't know what happened to her, but we can clearly see on the interrogation table there's like scratch marks and stuff like that. So obviously she put up a fight. But little do we know, while Larson's boss is being interrogated, Larson also himself is being snagged up himself and being questioned and everything. Excuse me. Oh, burps. Excuse me. Anyways, so we don't. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Larson's son Riley is like, hey, I haven't heard from my dad in a minute. Pops, ring, 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 ring. Hello, where are you? Hello, hello. Where are you, Dad? And so he goes to his dad's job and everything, and runs into his boss's droid, his dad's droid, like his partner and everything. And he's just like, oh yeah, your dad's been taken to interrogation. And we're just like, whoa, 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 whoa. He's just like, why is this going on? And it's just standard normal procedures and everything. And Riley's like, yeah, no, I don't think so. So that happened. And then let's see what happens next. I wrote down, I don't even remember Devin's master's name. So in my notes, I write him down as the master. So I wrote Devin and her master encounter the Empire. You know, they were trying to leave the planet and hide, and as soon as they were about to leave the area, a bunch of stormtroopers came out of the train and was like, show me your credentials, show me your ID, have you seen Maul, blah, 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 blah. And then Devin and her master kind of pursue, not really pursue, I'm getting ahead of myself again. Devin's master tries to do a Jedi mind trick on the stormtroopers, and just like, hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi, these are not the droids you're looking for. You've already seen my ID. You don't need to see my ID anymore. So yeah, that's what happened there. And then they start running away, and then cut to a little image of a menacing person in black, as we see our first glimpses of the Sith Inquisitor. Chef kiss, I say. Anyways, moving on, we see Riley trying to reach out to his mom, like, hey, I haven't heard from Dad, this and that and this. And beknownst to him, he was just like, his mom is like, he should have listened to the Empire. What did he do now? What could he done that he got himself, mixed in with the Empire, being interrogated? And long story short, his mom is like, tighten up, listen to the Empire, and you won't have to deal with that. So yeah. Cutting back to Larson in the interrogation, he was telling the truth, obviously. He cooperated and told what happened. So the Sith Inquisitor, obviously, he might be in cahoots with the Empire. Obviously he is in cahoots with the Empire. Found out this information and went to the ambush site from the previous episode, and found out, like, hey, he's telling the truth, you're free to go. And then so Larson goes back home and like, glad that's done and over with, don't have to deal with them. He goes home, Riley, I'm home, you home? And he's like, yeah, I'm here. And he walks into his living room. You see Devin and their master. And he's just like, what the heck, man? And boom, end of the first episode. And I was like, all right, I see where we're going. So far, with Chapter 5, I was honestly really nervous for a lot of reasons, wondering if Larson was going to be killed by the Empire. And come to find out, the person that was interrogating Larson's boss and himself was actually the Sith Inquisitor. Bum, bum, bum. So yeah, that was episode 5. And then episode 6. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it gets real. Really dicey. Not really fast, but just the opening sequence, Darth Maul is like doing some Sith training, meditating, like doing flips and jumps and this and that. And then his right hand man was like, Maul, you should see this. And there is a hologram footage of the Sith Inquisitor being shown to Darth Maul. And I'm like, oh boy, it's going down. So that happened. And then it cuts to Riley and Devin kind of bonding together. And whatchamacallit, I'm losing my train of thought, and I'm running out of space. To be continued. Okay, my train of thought is refocused a little bit. Let's continue. Anyways, so while Larson and Devin's master are like speaking to one another and they're bonding together, Larson's asking about the Sith Inquisitor, like, who's this person? What does he want? Like, what is his intentions and what have you? And in the middle of them talking, what do you know? Red lightsaber right through Larson's front door. And next thing you know, boom! Door comes flying off. Force push. Like, what in? I'm gonna have to replace that, buddy. You know, in this economy, you know how expensive doors are. Anyways, Sith Inquisitor, boom, busts through the door, and then an epic, in my opinion, a pretty epic lightsaber battle between Devin, Devin's master, and the Sith Inquisitor, and you know they're doing their thing, this and that and third, and then we got a transport ship come swooping in, start shooting at them and trying to drop off troops. But Devin take cares of them. Take cares of them. She took care of them. Jeez, use proper English. So excited, so emotional. She took the troopers out and was able to hijack the transport ship and kind of get away with Larson, Riley, herself, and her master. And they dip out and they were able to get away from the Sith Inquisitor. So that's probably within like the first 5-10 minutes of the show. And I was like, oh, or not the show, the episode. I was like, holy moly. So once they were able to get away, I guess before Larson became an officer and everything like that, I guess he was like a smuggler, or like I don't know exactly what he was saying, but he used to do some things back in the day. He ran with some girl named Rena. To see, this is the part when I started writing down names. I believe her name is Rena. It's an old friend that that he used to run with, and it was kind of like in this an underbelly, not underground, but like low level Coruscant, like a crime boss area, like casino kind of what have you area. And this weird alien looking fellow is like smoking on something, or he's sipping on a drink, and he notices all the group, everyone, and Rena talking and everything, and it gave me vibes from A New Hope when Luke and Obi-Wan go speak to Han and Chewie, and you have that weird alien dressed in black, and when the Imperial soldiers like run up to him and he's like, hey, they're over there, kind of gave me that vibe. Anyways, getting a little sidetracked. So we find out that he used to hang out with her and this and that back in the day, and he's desperate for help, and he's like, if it wasn't this serious and if I wasn't desperate for help, I wouldn't be coming for you for help and everything. So that happens, and then it pans forward a little bit to, the Empire searching for Maul and everything, and they're actually getting a little bit closer to his hideout and everything, and his little droid just like, uh-oh, type of deal, and what have you. So, that happens, and then the Maul's ally and him are talking and what have you, and Maul's speaking to her, saying that, he wants to train her, going back to what I was saying, he feels like Devin is the key to whatever he's doing. She is the key to what he's trying to do. So that happens in the process of Larson speaking with Rena and everything. The Empire actually rolls up to like her casino or her bar and everything, and she tries to stall for Larson and not Larson, I guess for all of them to get out of here. But in reality, Devin's master and Larson stay back, and Devin and Riley actually escape. And then they, not Riley. Oh, geez, I'm getting freaking mixed up with all the names already. Larson and Devin's master engage with the stormtroopers, and they get some smoke going on and everything, but they end up escaping down the same elevator shaft thing that Riley and Devin escaped through. But once they get down to the lower level and everything, they're kind of overran by the troopers and everything, so they kind of like run away and what have you. And then it pans to Devin being caught off guard by the Sith Inquisitor when her and Riley are trying to escape. So next thing you know, Riley ends up getting into this amazing, again, the lightsaber battles in this show is like top notch, like this pitch perfect, like for real. Anyways, the Sith Inquisitor and Devin get into this crazy epic lightsaber battle, and once she's holding her own a little bit, but then a little bit afterwards she's starting to slack off a bit, and the Sith Inquisitor's overtaking her. And right before the Sith Inquisitor's about to take her out and everything, Maul steps in and kind of saves the day. And for a brief second, it's all three of them battling. Well, not really. It's Maul and Devin fighting the Sith Inquisitor, and that happens. And Maul kind of force pushes him onto another like train car thing, because they're escaping on a train car, and this is like this crazy chase scene while this is all happening. And Maul pushes the Sith Inquisitor onto another car, and Devin cuts the train car coupling, so the car just stops and they escape and what have you. And Maul then speaks to Devin like, hey, I'm not the real bad guy. What you just dealt with, like, that's the real issue, not me. I'm here trying to help you. And I guess with that small interaction, something might have clicked in Devin's head, like, hey, he's speaking facts. And then at the peak, at the end of the episode, the Sith Inquisitor goes back to wherever he needs to go back to, and he's speaking to a hologram. Ladies and gentlemen, I say to you, next week, I guarantee you the Inquisitor's talking to Palpatine. He has to be talking to Palpatine. Uncle Palps is coming back. Either it's Palpatine or it's Vader. One or the other. But that is a really spoiler and drawn out synopsis, I guess you can say, about my version of how I felt about episode 5 and 6 of Maul, the Shadow Lord. So I hope you enjoyed that, my 2 cents. If you haven't already, please watch episodes 1 through 6 already, out now on Disney+. Fantastic show. Sam Witwer, he is the GOAT of Darth Maul. He's been, if I'm not mistaken, he's been voicing Darth Maul for over 18 years now. And I'm very excited moving forward, I've already heard that they're pushing for season 2. It might have already been confirmed. I mean, Sam Witwer wants to make a Darth Maul game. So who knows what's the future holds for Darth Maul. Very excited. But thank you, everyone. I will see you next Monday in my next video, my next update. Until next time, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. And as always, may the Force be with you.